Okay, starting with 5a, they ask us to simplify I to the 203rd power. So we have to pull our greatest factor out of there, and that is going to be 200, which is actually equal to I to the 4th, which is equal to 1. But we can't forget about our 3, so we have to do 1 times I to the 3rd, and I to the 3rd is equal to negative I. So in the end, we're going to do 1 times negative I, and we're going to get negative I. That's our final answer for 5a. So that is that one. Now 5b is a little bit different. They want us to multiply, so they give us 2 plus 3i times by 3 plus 4i, and we just FOIL for this. So we get 6 plus 8i plus 9i plus 12i squared. We add these together, we get 12i squared plus 17i. Ooh, that is a plus sign. Plus 6. Let me rewrite that. So we get 12i squared plus 17i plus 6. That is our answer for 5b. Then 5c asks us to divide. So 5c wants us to start with 3 minus 5i, and we're going to put that over 2 plus 4i. Okay, and to get this to cancel out, we need to get the i's out of the bottom, and we have to multiply by the inverse. So we're going to multiply by 2 minus 4i, which is basically 1. And so when we do that, this all is going to add up and be 2 squared plus 4 squared. And this top part, when we FOIL it, we're going to get 6 minus 12i minus 10i plus 20i squared. And 20i squared is the same as negative 20 because I squared is negative 1. So we would multiply that by 20, and we would get negative 14, because negative 20 plus 6 is negative 14, minus 22i, and this is over 20, because 16 squared, or 4 squared is 16 and 2 squared is 4, which equals 20. From here, we have to break it down a little bit, and that's going to go, I'm going to go right over here with this. We would get negative 14 over 20, because we're going to break it up, minus 22i over 20. And from here, we're just going to simplify and reduce our fractions. Get negative 7 tenths minus 11i over 10. 5D is a lot more complicated because they want us to cube an equation. So what we're going to do for 5D is they give us 1 minus 3i over 2 plus I, and they want this all to the 3rd power. So from here, we can find our bottom, which is going to be 2 squared, which is 4, plus I squared, which is negative 1. So we're going to do 4 plus a negative 1 down here. So I've got our denominator figured out, and we're just going to move this over here and cube it. So 4 plus a negative 1 is 3. 3 cubed is 27. So we have 27 in the denominator. And we need to figure out what we have on top right here, and to do that we have to FOIL. So we have to break it down a little bit. So from here, we're going to do 1 minus 3i times 1 minus 3i. So when you FOIL that, you do your first. Ooh. Do first terms. So 1 times 1, which is 1. And then we do our last term, and we get negative 3i. Then you do your inside term, you get negative 3i. And you do your last term, negative 3i times negative 3i, which is a positive 9i squared. So from here, this is going to turn into a negative 9. You're going to have 1 minus 6i minus 9. From here, you have to multiply this one more time. So we're going to take this right here, and we're going to multiply that over here. We're going to do 1 minus 6i minus 9. We're going to multiply that by 1 minus 3i. And from here we FOIL again. So we are going to do 1 times 1, 1, minus 6i, minus 9. I'm going to run out of room. Plus 27i minus 18i squared minus 3i. And that's because we multiplied each of these like that. So from here, we add common terms, or like terms, which would be this, and also, forgot this one, this. And we also add this like term with this term. So we end up getting, this one stays by itself right here, so we get 18i squared plus 18i minus 8. So this is our final answer. That's going to go on top right here. So it looks a little confusing, but my final answer is going to be written right over here. 18i squared plus 18i minus 8. I'm going to put that over 27. And this should be your final answer to question 5D, in which we cubed the fraction they gave us.